Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mauro. Now, I think that we shall begin immediately by introducing our first speaker, Laurangelis Thomas Neron. She's there. She's a young woman, free-spirited young woman and Afro-Caribbean people strengthened by HIV/AIDS. Yes. And you are 26 years old, and you are born and you are living in San Juan, we say, there. And you started working with HIV since middle school, and from 2008, you chose to live openly HIV plus. And since then, you are an activist and feminist. And what we would like to learn from you is how is the life of a young woman like you with HIV/AIDS in your country, within your community, what kind of difficulties you have, and what kind of opportunities you can see now.
Thank you. I'm 26 years old, and I've been living with HIV for 26 years old also. I will read a little bit what I'm going to share. My mother, she was a widow. She didn't know why. My father was her second husband. I'm only daughter, and I grew in a small neighborhood in San Juan. She didn't know she has HIV, and at the 3 years old, when I was 3 years old, I was hospitalized for the first time with a bad cold. AIDS at that time, we didn't use the word HIV by then, and the doctor said that I only have 3 years old, so I think I have 20 years extra now. My mother, when I knew I was HIV positive, she never stopped apologizing. But actually, I don't believe she have anything to apologize for. And when I know I was HIV positive, I didn't know the seriousness of the matter. I didn't know. I knew that there was something called death, something called HIV, and the medicines. But I never realized that those were connected. And everything that my mom and my dad used to tell me about the pills, what this will make you stronger. So when I was, I think, like 9 or 8 years old at a field day, I gave one pills to my friend because she was going to run and she didn't get to the race because it make her feel sick. And that's when I noticed that no one else in my class were taking pills. So that's when I started like asking questions and trying to understand why I was taking pills. I remember going every month to the clinic, and I met like friends, and then the other month they were not there anymore because for people who are born with HIV like me, at the first in the 90s, I think like half of them have died till the date. So it was also like very. My mom was very scared. Anytime I asked some questions, and also I remember going with her to the support groups, but by that time the support groups, the dynamics that they use were like, were very scary. The dynamics were like drawing like a tombstone and writing what would you want to be written there, because but at middle 90s, they prepare you for that. But then new medicines came, and a lot of people start getting depressed because when during a lot of years you heard that you may die, and then suddenly you heard that you are not dying. Sometimes you are prepared to die, but then like you don't know what to do with your life after that. So I met a lot of people that actually get depressed in that moment, but then like they move on with their life. Um, when I was 9 years old, that's when I realized I was HIV positive. I noticed because I took a pill, a bottle of the pills. Oh my God, that's so much love. I took the paper that they bring and I started translating it because it was in English, and I translated to Spanish, and I realized that if those pills were for people living with HIV, it was because I have HIV also. And by then I was happy because I knew my mom has it, so I wanted to be like my mom. So I was happy. I didn't know that I could die having HIV. And when I was 11 years old, my mom died. She was hospitalized, and she always told me if I ever get hospitalized, don't let them intubate me. So that's what happened. She was hospitalized. I didn't let them intubate her, and she dies. Then the night after that, at my adolescence, it was very hard taking the medication because sometimes when it makes you feel sick, you don't want that people at your school know that you live with HIV. So you have to go like every month to the clinic, and you skip a lot of classes, and my grades start to getting low. I started having bad grades. And after that, I stopped taking my medicines during like 8 years old because no one told me that no one told me the importance of taking the medicine. The doctors just always were telling me that you should take the medicine because if you don't, you will have opportunistic infection. But I didn't get to make any choice about my treatment or what to do with my body. They always said me like, take the pills and just like that. So it was very awkward because you don't get to choose what you want to do. So I stopped taking the medicine till 19 years old. What else? Then when I was 20 years old, I was having sex, a lot of sex, and I got infected with chlamydia. And I didn't know what was chlamydia actually, so I got depressed. And when I was a kid, I always heard that young people who were born with HIV only were supposed to last 20 years. And when I turned 20, I was very depressed, not only because the HIV, also about the chlamydia, but also because the guy that gave me the result of the chlamydia, he sexually assaulted me. So I was very depressed, so I attempted suicide. I didn't make it, which is great now. And that in that moment, I decided to become an activist. And since then, I think I've been like working, but it's not. I don't think it have been the same story for a lot of women because sometimes a lot of women they have to take care of their own health, and if they are single mothers, they have to care not only for her health but also for their kids. And sometimes at the clinics, doctors don't want them with their babies because they think that they are so annoying, and it can be very complicated. And sometimes they need gynecologic to see a gynecologist. They have to move a lot distance because on their own towns they won't attend her because they are HIV positive. So they have to move to a specialized clinic, which is nice to have that kind of clinic, but if you don't have a car and if very far away, you shouldn't have that service in your own town. So I think that will be everything for now.
No. You have full of time. What would you say about your story? What was the most important thing for you? Not to know, not to be informed, to feel threatened, not to have anybody to speak with, or what was the most difficult for you before your infection on chlamydia?
Well, for me, it was like don't have enough information. I have changed my therapy like 3 times, and most of them have been because I didn't have enough information, and it's not only because of that, because the way that some health professional treat you, sometimes they don't understand that what is taking pills for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And they only like push you, like you have to take them, but of course you are not taking pills. You don't know how it feels to take pills for the rest of your life. And skipping school because you feel bad, or maybe not knowing how to tell someone, some
Yes.
guy that you like,
Yes.
that you
Yes.
are HIV positive, and don't know how to manage your sexuality while you are a teenager, because you do a lot of experiments with it when you are a teenager, and if you don't have enough information, well, you do crazy stuff.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
This is okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Should we move to the...
Please.
No.
Okay, let's go on. We will come back to your story. It's a very important story, and you seems to be so brave, but you were thinking about suicide anyway. So this is important to notice.